This video is to show you how to do long division. If you're ever trying to do long division on your own and you get stuck and you just can't remember what to do, come back to this video and I think it will help you. When you get to certain steps in DMSBR, you can just hit pause and I'll kind of let you know when you could hit pause and go to your own problem to do the same steps that I did here, because most likely you will not have the same numbers I have here, but it is the same process. Okay, so this problem says 324 divided by 7. Before you get started, I always want you to write out D, M, S, B, R for divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, remainder, or repeat. I also want you to get in the habit of writing out your tic-tac-toe chart for the multiples of your divisor, which is this 7 here. Even if you think, Miss Carol, I know my 7s, just take the 10 seconds to fill it out, and that'll help you memorize your 7s even more and even better. If you know them really well, it'll only take you, 10, maybe 20 extra seconds, and it really gets you started. Okay? So I'm ready to go. I'm also going to use this little chip here to help me know what step I'm on and what I need to do. So D stands for divide, and the first thing I do is I ask myself, how many times does 7 go into 3? Or what is 3 divided by 7? Well, 7 can't fit into 3. So I'm going to put a little X up here to show myself I know that I can't do 3 divided by 7. I know that 7 does not fit into 3. So instead for my D step, I'm going to look at the 32, not just the 2, but the 32. And I'm going to ask myself, what's 32 divided by 7? Or the easier way for me to ask it is, how many times does 7 go into 32? Now, if I'm not sure, I can come over here and count. Does it go in at least once? You betcha. Twice? Yep. 3 times? Yep. 4 times? Yeah, 28 fits into 32. 5 times? No, 35 does not fit into 32. So it only goes in there 4 times. So I'm going to record my 4 up here, and I'm going to put a dot or a check below my D. Why don't you take a second to do this in your problem? If you need to pause, then you can pause right now and do this first step. Now, with your little chip, you're always going to put it right by the number that you just wrote, and that's going to give you a signal about what numbers you use next, because the M stands for multiply, and a lot of times students say, Miss Carol, I know I need to multiply, but I don't know what numbers to multiply. Do I do 7 times 32? Do I do 7 times 2? What do I do? Well, wherever your chip is. So 7 times 4. And if I don't know the answer to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 28. Great. So I'm going to put a 28 below my 32. Going to put a check mark number under my M. And since I just wrote down another number, I'm going to put my chip next to it. Right now, if you would like to pause to do your multiplication step, do so. Next is subtraction, and you might say, Miss Carol, I don't know what to subtract. Well, where is your chip? You do the 32 minus the 28. I can't do 2 minus 8, so I have to do some borrowing. And I am left with 4, and I accidentally put my little check mark below my S too early, but this is when you would put your check mark there, and you just wrote down a number, so make sure your chip is there. B stands for bring down. Bring down the number that is here. And ask yourself, is this repeat or remainder? Well, 44 is a pretty big number, and I have this space up here that I need to fill in above my 4. So I think that this is going to be a repeat. Put a check mark there, and then you go back to D. And now you might think, oh, Miss Carol, I don't know what to divide now. Well, where is your chip? It's next to the 44. So you ask yourself, what's 44 divided by 7? Or the way that's easier for me to do it, how many times does 7 fit into 44? And if you don't know, come over here. 1 time, yep, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, it fits in there 6 times. Does it fit in there 7? No, it fits in there 6 times. So I'm going to record my 6 on the top line and put a check mark below my D. Now might be a good time for you to pause to do your D step. Now, since I just wrote down a 6, I'm going to move my chip up there. And now I need to multiply, but I don't know what numbers to multiply, Miss Carol. Well, where did you just write down your number? 6. 7 times 6 is 42. I'll record that down here. And just like before, I put my check mark under the M a little too soon. If you need to pause to do this right now, do so. Now, I wrote down my 42, so I need to move my chip again. And I know I have an S. S stands for subtract, so I'll subtract these two numbers. I get a 2. Check below my S. Do I have anything left to bring down? No. Do I need to repeat, or am I at the end of my problem? I'm at the end, so this is a remainder. So I'm going to put a little R2 up here. This is my answer, and I'm going to circle it. Okay. A couple things to notice. I turned my notebook paper sideways so I could use the columns to help keep me organized. I highly suggest that you do that and write your numbers very clearly and in straight lines. Next, you can always check if your division problem is correct by doing multiplication. So you take your quotient, which is your answer, 46, you multiply it times the divisor, and you should get what you started with, 7 times 6, 42, so I put down the 2, carry the 4. 4 times 7, 1, 2, 3, 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Great. Oh no. They're different. Oops, forgot to add the remainder. So just add the remainder. And is this what I started with? Yep, good to go. All right, these are the steps to long division. Like I said, anytime you need some help with a problem, come back and watch this video, pause and do the steps with your numbers, just how I did my steps here. Hope this helps.